What's going on, guys? It's Cimoooooooo. Now today I'm bringing you a two-part video that I collaborated with Robbie Cole, mcole40 himself. The video is discussing if non-zoo decks need to actually be hit by the ban list and kind of an overall assessment of the ban list and the format as it currently stands in general. So I really hope you guys enjoy. Part 1 is on Robbie's channel, so I'm going to go ahead and put an annotation here. You can also check in the description below. Be sure to check out his channel. He's got a lot of awesome content. And part 2 is going to be here on my channel. So be sure to watch part 1 first. Part 2 is on my channel. It's just a general discussion, so you can put it on in the background and listen with some headphones while you're doing any of your other work. It was a really good discussion overall, and I had a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoy as well. So thank you guys so much. Here's part 2.
Alright, well, let's talk about the other black horse of this video. Totally awesome.
Totally awesome.
It's totally not going to get hit because it's not much of a problem anymore.
I mean, we thought that, but the OCG hit it to 1, so you never know.
Yeah, but
not that we always follow suit, but I don't think it's going to be an issue.
Well, that brings up a thing, though. If we hit Totally Awesome, that means the barrier becomes free game, too, for the TCG to hit.
Yeah, that's true. that would be interesting if the TCG hit D-barrier.
I mean, there's already one of the things I got hate on my videos, because I always like that, one Konami, the one hit they might do. What if they put Max T to 1?
I mean,
that seems like something they would do.
Yeah, it could. They already put it to 2, which we didn't think they were going to do.
I mean, but the thing is, I got you thinking on the D barrier now, don't I?
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, the TCG's also made the same complaint about Emptiness, but Emptiness looks like it's faded out of a lot of decks right now.
Yeah, I mean, I see some people still splashing it in their zoo builds, but I don't honestly like Emptiness. At least if you're playing pure zoo, I don't like that, or even Kaiju zoo, because Emptiness almost hurts you as much as it would help you, because you can't really turn it off yourself and continue to combo off. So I think that's D-barrier just does enough, because it's only one turn, and then on your turn you're just free to do whatever, and it's not twisterable or anything.
Well, we already know the cards that are chainable in this game that have great effects of, seeing the death, like Book of Moon, Compulse.
Yep.
I want
Which
Book.
Why they're still at 1. I mean, OCG has them all at 3.
I want Book to go to 2.
I know. How long have we been preaching for Book to go to 2?
Too fucking long. I also make the same wish of, Torrential at 1 is a fucking trash card, but Torrential at 2 is fucking good.
It's scary.
No, a lot of players in this game undervalue the extra copies of cards in their decks, and but I don't know. But so Kieran banned.
I was gonna say, wasn't this a ban list discussion?
Well,
and we just talked about
we're covering the meta too, because it's interesting to see where the lines of thinking goes. That way, if we're just Hanger should stay, and then if we don't give a reason for the rest of the meta, then people are not gonna understand why we're saying that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Most of the people in this game are conditioned at this point to believe that one deck should be hit, but because everything else should be balanced, then that one deck can justifiably stay.
Yeah, I agree.
But for the most part, though, Norden, we've pretty much agreed, can go. Kieran can go.
Let's go.
Emptiness really isn't much of a problem anymore.
I think Emptiness, is fine at 1 for now, because I think just because of the circumstance Emptiness is in. Before, I don't know. I mean, it might have been just too much of an auto win card.
Well, I mean, if Barrier goes to 1, then we're pretty much just gonna go back to Emptiness.
Yeah, that's true. So I think because Barrier exists, Emptiness doesn't need to exist.
Yeah, then that's agreeable. I mean, it's the same logic we have with 4 Solemns, and that's another thing I could see getting. I could see Strike going to 2 finally.
I could too. And then we have the Solemn Brigade 2.5 again.
Yeah, we literally have, what is it? The card already got the reprint, so Konami's officially done their thing they needed to do with it. It's circulated through. I think it's time that we could tuck Strike underneath the rug, and it's time to go to 2.
Yeah. So now, so since we're talking about cards that are potentially going to get hit, then we've seen this before. We saw it with Full Power Pepe. They had the adjusted list and pretty much hit 6 cards right out of the deck. The deck was still pretty much the best deck. It was just in neutered form. So is Konami going to follow suit now for this next adjusted list?
Are you asking me what needs to die in Zoo? Because I can tell you. I'm
asking what you think. You can tell me what you think they're going to hit and what you personally think needs to get hit.
Terratop?
Yep.
Tenki? All right.
Yep.
Well,
So just follow OCG, essentially.
Okay, so what's going to happen now is going to be Terratop Tenki. That just that immediately takes care of what we need to take care of. And then, let's be real, Barrage is going to go to 1, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna be like, hey, I heard you guys like Zoo. We're going to put Rat Pier to 2. So...
It could happen.
I don't know. Like, I feel like Rat's going to 2 at some point.
My counter argument to that, though, is... Remember when Bosch came out, and, you know, Sorcerer was the secret rare going for, like, $90+ Sorcerer didn't get hit on the list. Barrage is the secret. Barrage might be able to survive, at least for this list. Barrage could survive. They could just hit Tenki and Terratop like OCG. But I think Barrage is here to stay for a while.
The problem is Barrage, though. Like,
I agree. Barrage is stupid.
As long as we like, we're just gonna sit here and keep sugarcoating this for our viewers, but like, no, fucking Barrage should be limited to 1 right out of the floodgate. That card shouldn't have been as. You should have at least put pay half your life. You should have pay half your life points on it. Fucking Heroes had to pay half their life points for that shit.
I know.
Like, I get what they were doing when they designed the archetype, and I like what they did because actually Zoo is not a terribly designed archetype. The problem is Barrage lets you go, all right, 1 card, gain like 4 cards. Like,
the problem is Barrage evades the issue of needing to commit a normal summon.
Yep.
Like, the fact that, like, okay, if you take Barrage out of Zoo, then you have, you know, I guess you have Terratop still, but, like, you have to normal summon your Rat, let's assume. If you get debarriered or striked, or if your Rat gets hit in any shape or form, like, your turn is for the most part pretty much over. But Barrage gives you that second win that allows you to just keep going all over again. And it's that component of the deck that makes it so resilient and just so crazy.
See, like, if I honestly think as long, like, they don't have to do much as long as you take care of Barrage, though. Like, obviously, if Terratop Tenki go to 1, and you just remove Barrage out of the equation or put it to 1, then you actually have a balanced deck on your hands.
Yeah, because then you have 3 Rats, you have a Terratop, which, like, no one would play 1 top. You have
you have Tour Guide. Don't forget that.
You have Tour Guide. Yeah, OCG migrated to Tour Guide. You're correct. So you could technically throw Tour Guide in. Because, like, yeah, like the Metalfoes builds were playing like Tour Guide because they have Eccentric that they have a target inherently. So that actually is pretty cool synergy. You have your 1 Tenki, and then you have your 1 Barrage. So you're cutting it from like 12 cards down to 6, which means then you only have realistically like a 40% chance to like open that combo. So, and you're most likely gonna have to commit your normal summon because Tour Guide is a normal summon. Your Rats are all normal summons. You only have like you would have like your Terratop, your 1 Terratop, and your 1 Barrage. You only have 2 ways to pretty much keep going.
Well, that's in the pure build, though. Don't forget over here we can still hard make the Invoker in Metalfoes.
That's true. That's true. So you could hard make the Invoker as well. But if you hard make the Invoker without having all these other ways that you don't even have to hard make the Invoker, that's, I mean, you know, that's fine. Like, I'm okay if you hard make an Invoker. That's like, to me, that's more balanced than where we're at now.
No, exactly. But it's actually kind of scary because all they have to do is just remove Barrage, and it seems like the deck just becomes an actual good deck. Like, not even broken. But, you know, it's not going to happen. Shit in one hand, wish in the other. Come on now, Cimo.
Konami's got to make their money.
Well, no, exactly. Like, as soon as I saw that card was a secret, I'm like, oh boy!
Here we go.
See, the community didn't listen to when we some people were like, you should pick these up at Sneak Peek because it's Dracosac all over again. I think Barrage and Dracosac are the only 2 that have broken the rules. That they were cheaper at Sneak Peek and then they went up afterwards.
Desires did.
Oh, I guess Desire, and Barrier.
D-Barrier technically did too. It's 90 now.
Well, Barrier did go down and then shoot back up.
That's true. I guess like D-Barrier was like a steady increase, but like Desires, like you could pick those up for like 40s or 50s at Sneak, and then they shot up to like 80. Once people realize like, wow, this is like, you know, pot of greed.
Fucking that's 3 cards. And like a lot of people saw the trends. And especially like if you were taking a look at like how the tiers were going and like Japan, like Barrage is warranted of its price tag.
I agree.
But
Desires is warranted of its price tag too, but Desires is just falling out of the meta currently.
Well, until we get Crisis, I think a lot of the true Draco Turbo plays Desires still.
Yeah, like I think the biggest thing is with Rats exist, like Rat and Desires just like you can play Desires in a Zoo build, but you really don't want to.
One of these things is not like the other.
Exactly, right. So it's like, it's funny that like everyone was like on Potted Desires, like, I love the card, but it's funny that one card's existence in a very competitively viable deck completely negates Pot of Desires playability altogether. Unless you're ballsy and want to try to rack combo, then Desires. But I don't know. I wouldn't recommend that.
So now this leads me to another question. If Konami just straight out hit Barrage, then and Kieran gets taken care of. At this point, do we have to hit ABC, though? Because wouldn't that create an imbalance for ABCs? Obviously, the other white horses in the room, Paleos and things like that, will get their time to shine. But, like, if you check Zoo because of the power level, you go back to what we're currently in the current metagame, right?
Right.
So, which means then we have to address Kieran, we have to address Paleos and their frogs and shit like that. So
yeah,
at that point, do you think Konami's going to be like just going to preemptively get us ready for that hit?
What I think's interesting is if we take Barrage out of the equation and Terror Top, and assuming Tenki's going to 1 as well, we're kind of at a point where all 3 decks, being Metal Foe, ABC, and Zoo, kind of all have a very similar mathematical consistency in how often they can combo like their Wombo combo. Like, it's kind of hovering around like that 30 to 40% mark. Like, it would be that with Zoo, it would be that with ABC, and it would be that with Metal Foes to an extent. So, and Kieran will be out of Metal Foes, which is obviously the biggest issue. So we would almost have like this very interesting, like, just somewhat triangle meta. And then I think DDD could actually come back into that as well, because I think right now just Zoo is just completely outpacing it, because you saw for those 2 weeks, DDD was making an impact. Like, you were seeing it top regionals, like it was there. And then Zoo came in and just completely wrecked it. So I think that would actually almost rebalance everything. And it's really kind of hard to evaluate to see, like, is Zoo like still too good? Because you see in the OCG, everyone's still playing it and no one's playing ABC, even with Terror Top, and they still have Barrage, but still, I think Barrage might be the reason why people are still playing.
5 hours of OCG videos post Crisis, man, like too fucking much. Like the amount of times I seen a Zoo player take a 15-minute turn just made me want to like shoot myself in the leg. Like, and just watching the monkey be on, watching a Dryden at the beginning of the second turn get overlaid with and ending with like double Dryden. You're just like, the fuck am I watching here, man? Like,
you know exactly what you mean.
We also get like, obviously, like, reaching towards Crisis, you know, like, we're gonna have the Zephyra mechanic. And, you know, remember, the TCG's a much bigger fan of fucking Yang Zings and shit like that. We really enjoy our 9 pillars and the things we can do like that. And I definitely...
9 pillars.
Well, I think someone in the TCG is gonna find a way to build Zoo, Yang Zing, Metal Foes. Like, that just seems like that's waiting to happen. You know, we'll just let NY3 take care of the Yang Zing build. True, but at the end of the day, though, like, once Kieran's gone, I think that will be a viable deck. But the TCG is a lot more aggressive in their ways, and that's one of the reasons I was saying, like, we could still see Desires see play.
Yeah, it's true, because a lot of people are under that mindset that, you know, I can just Zoo combo then Desires.
But at that point, it's just a win more card.
It is a win more card, because I feel like, okay, what are you really trying to draw with Desires at that point? Like, you already have probably 2 to 3 back row, or 2 to 3 hand traps, depending. Like, do you really need that 4th and 5th, like, disruptive card to win you the game at that point?
That is true. What are the odds of you thinking that we could see Ghost Ogre preemptively hit? I mean, if we are getting list post Seattle, I mean, they could just try to take care of Ghost Ogre a little bit early to make everyone buy Ghost Ash.
That's true. I don't know. I forgot that's actually coming out too. That's gonna have a big impact on the meta.
Oh, of course. Having a card that I can play for my hand to stop my opponent's barrage is pretty good, I heard.
To stop them from doing like anything.
Yeah.
there's like that card stops like half of decks, but I don't know if they would really hit Ghost Ogre though. That seems like seems overzealous. They did hit Max C, but I feel like Max C and Ghost Ogre aren't on the same echelon. Like,
I mean, you're right, but it's you have what? You have Valor now, you have Max C, you have Ogre, Retaliating, Reaper, and we're gonna have Ghost Ash. Like, we have a lot of hand trap accessibility now. So I mean,
kind of like that though.
I do too, but it doesn't mean that like at some point they start taking away our things.
That's true.
You know, Skill Drain survived for the longest time, and now look where it is.
I know. I miss Skill Drain Beatdown, but
I do too. But
we're going way back. That's like 2005. But it's, I don't really see them hitting Ghost Ogre preemptive. Like even after Seattle, I really can't see that happening because that's like, it's just another way to beat Zoo. And if you're Konami, if you're gonna argue that like, oh, we're gonna ban everything except Zoo, well then they should keep everything that's gonna at least have a chance to combat Zoo. Like Konami doesn't really hit decks. Like, they don't hit, like, singular cards. Like, they hit Maxi, that's fair. But they hit decks more than they hit, like, singular cards like Ghost Ogre more often than not. It's very rare that they would hit a card like, Maxi or something, like, or very similar to it again, I feel like.
Shout out to my boy Kaiser Coliseum. You're the real MVP of this discussion.
But wasn't that for an FTK, though, or something?
Yeah, but still, like... the thing was, like, Kaiser Coliseum made... It was a very cheeky card. It made a lot of fun things happen in the game.
Cosmo?
Yeah. And, oh my god, those were the stupidest fucking rulings. What do you mean I can't storm forth when you have Kaiser Coliseum on the field? The fuck? Oh, there's a short window where the monster doesn't exist on the field. Like, what?
No other game has these fucking rulings.
Like, literally, like, the players give Konami a lot of crap for some of these rulings. Like, I love Konami as a company, don't get me wrong, but, like, sometimes the shit you say, man, like, what do you mean the monster's not on the field? I'm replacing it with it. Well, you can't do it because there's no monster would exist.
The fuck?
There was a Gozen ruling that was going around for a temporary amount of time for a regional or two. I don't know if it's still ruled this way or not, but, like, if I could, say my only monsters on the field are Earth, and I reveal an Earth Xyz monster in my extra deck, I could change the attribute of my monsters because I can still appropriately summon an Earth monster.
I did not know that was a rule.
No, that was a thing for a short amount of time in a couple of regionals. But like,
yeah, that's hilarious.
How the fuck? That's about as bad as Monarch or Stormforth versus Kaiser Coliseum. Like, it doesn't make sense.
This game.
But I mean, we all love it. It's
we're still playing. We're still talking about it. So you love to talk about it, though.
I love to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much like little integral parts about this. Gadgets, get it?
Get it?
There's like that's why I love this game. Like, there's so many little intricate parts we can talk about. I know, like, we got sidetracked in a lot of this video. Like, we did cover our ban list. And I covered a lot of the metagame that I wanted to. But obviously, we're not gonna get to sit down and talk about everything in this video because we're already nearing 40 minutes.
I was gonna say this will be like a 4-hour video if we covered everything we planned on.
Oh, dude, like I could sit here and talk about this for hours. But yeah, we're gonna split this between me and Cimo for you guys. Obviously, please check out Cimo.
Hey, Cimo with 8 consecutive O's.
Oh man, sometimes I get your channel wrong and I end up with like 9. I'm sorry. You just start hitting the O and it's like it's still going.
Did you know I used to sign cards with 8 O's and it took up like the whole card face?
I think I'm more disappointed that you stopped.
It wasn't working. It looked horrendous.
So? But it's your thing, Cimo. Like,
it is my thing.
Every Yu-Gi tuber has their own thing.
It's true.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope Cimo had fun.
I had a lot of fun. If you guys want to see more of these discussions, let us know because we have a blast making them. And, we cover a lot of interesting topics and you get to hear some fun antics as well.
It's
so
fucking
let
hard.
us know.
It's hard getting people to sit down and talk about Yu-Gi-Oh these days.
And I'm always down to sit down with you.
Ooh. Don't disappoint me. All right.
Get some duels in next time, maybe.
Oh. If only I liked Yu-Gi-Oh that much. All right. We're out. Peace.